You've seen it everywhere, right? That term, anti-aging. It's on fancy jars of cream, it's all over social media, it's just inescapable. But have you ever stopped to think about what it actually means? What are we really trying to fight when we talk about anti-aging?
It seems like a pretty simple question, but believe me, the answer is anything but. Because the anti-aging you see advertised out there is often a world away from the real science of how we age.
And I bet you know exactly what I'm talking about. The minute you type anti-aging into Google, you don't get a clear scientific answer. Nope. You get hit with a tidal wave of products, all promising you the fountain of youth in a bottle.
So let's start right there. Let's take a closer look at what this massive anti-aging industry is actually trying to sell us.
I mean, it's a huge marketplace, flooded with everything from cosmetic creams and questionable hormone supplements to a truly dizzying array of vitamins and pills. And here's the kicker. Most of it has very little to do with the actual proven science of how to extend a healthy lifespan.
And this is where things get, well, a little controversial, because the mainstream medical community, they have some really serious problems with this whole commercial anti-aging movement.
Now, I want you to look at the language here. This isn't some gentle warning. This is a direct quote from a major medical society, and they use the word abuse. They are deeply concerned about the misuse of hormones, all in the name of anti-aging.
And this is a really, really important point. Major medical organizations do not recognize anti-aging medicine as a legitimate specialty. You can't be a board-certified anti-aging doctor like you can be a cardiologist or an oncologist. That alone should tell you something, right?
But hang on, let's be super clear. The goal, the idea of extending our healthy lifespan, that is a very real and incredibly important area of scientific research. We're not talking about magic potions here. We're talking about understanding the basic biology of aging so we can all live longer, healthier lives.
So if we strip away the marketing hype and focus on the science, what does a longer, healthier life actually look like? Well, it's not some distant dream. It's actually happening right now, all around us. We are living through this incredible boom in the number of people who are living to be 100 years old.
Just take a look at this number. 513,000. That's how many people in the US alone are projected to be over 100 by the year 2054. I mean, let that sink in. This isn't sci-fi. This is a massive shift in our society that's happening within our lifetimes.
And hey, it's not just an American thing. Look at the data here from all over the world. The number of people hitting 100 is just exploding globally. And that, of course, leads to the big question. How are they doing it? What is their secret? Well, the science on this is absolutely fascinating. It turns out there isn't just one single way to get to 100. Researchers have actually found that there are 3 different paths to reaching that incredible milestone.
When you think of someone who's 100, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably someone who just got incredibly lucky, right? Somebody who won the genetic lottery and never got sick a day in their life. But what if I told you that for most centenarians, that's not the story at all?
Okay, this is where things get really interesting. A landmark study looked at people who lived to be 100 and found something that kind of turns everything on its head. The people who just escaped all major diseases, they are the tiny minority. They make up just 15% of the group. That's it. So let's break this down. You've got the escapers, who we just talked about, but almost everyone else is either a delayer, meaning they do get sick, but not until after they're 80, or a survivor, people who were diagnosed with a major illness before age 80, but managed it and just kept on going. So just let that sink in. For the overwhelming majority of people who live to be 100, the secret isn't some magical immunity. It's the ability to manage health problems and keep going. It's not about being invincible. It's about being incredibly resilient. All right, so if resilience is the name of the game, how do we build it? If most people who live to 100 are these delayers and survivors, what does that tell us about our own health? Well, the answer isn't some futuristic miracle cure. It's something we can all start doing today. You know, we've all heard the phrase, oh, they died of old age. But from a medical standpoint, that's kind of a myth. People don't just fade away. There's almost always a specific medical reason, like a heart attack, a stroke, or cancer. And if you look at this chart, you can see exactly what I mean. The top causes of death for older adults are all familiar names: heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's. These are the real roadblocks to a long, healthy life. So how do we fight back against these diseases? The answer is with data. Modern medicine gives us these powerful tools, like the risk charts you see here. that help us figure out our personal risk for things like heart disease, based on real numbers like blood pressure and cholesterol.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway of this whole conversation. The single most powerful, scientifically backed anti-aging strategy we have is just good old-fashioned preventive medicine. It's working with your doctor to manage your risks so that you can become a delayer or a survivor.
So let me leave you with this final thought. If we truly embrace this idea of prevention and we become a society of delayers and survivors, are we just living longer, or are we actually finally beginning to crack the code of aging itself? It's a pretty fascinating question, and I'm sure it's one the future of medicine is going to answer.